the silent playground. Ethan always walked home the same way, past the old playground at the edge of town. It had been abandoned for years, the swings rusted, the slide covered in graffiti. No one ever played there anymore. But one evening, as the sun dipped below the trees, he heard something unusual. Laughter. Soft, distant giggles floated through the air. Ethan stopped. The playground was empty. The metal jungle gym cast long shadows, and the swings hung still. Yet, he could hear them. Children laughing, whispering. A cold chill crept up his spine. He took a cautious step forward, scanning the area. That's when he noticed the footprints in the dirt. Small, barefoot prints circling the swings and slide. But there was something wrong with them. They appeared out of nowhere. No starting point, no path leading in. Just there. A gust of wind blew through the trees, and for the briefest moment, Ethan swore he saw movement. A small shadow darting behind the merry-go-round. His breath hitched. Then the swing moved. Slowly, it creaked forward as if someone had just pushed off the ground. The laughter grew louder. More voices, overlapping, whispering words he couldn't quite make out. Ethan took a step back. Run. Just go home. But something held him there. Curiosity or fear. He pulled out his phone and turned on the flashlight, aiming it toward the merry-go-round. The light flickered slightly as it cut through the fog. Nothing. Just rusting metal and overgrown grass. Then, a voice behind him. Do you want to play? Ethan spun around, heart hammering. The playground was still empty. He swallowed hard, forcing himself to breathe. Who's there? His voice barely carried over the wind. Silence. Then, movement at the slide. A small figure. A child, barely visible through the mist. Ethan's throat went dry. The boy wore old-fashioned clothes, his pale hands clutching the sides of the slide. His face was blurred in the dim light, but Ethan could see his mouth moving. The laughter stopped. The air around Ethan grew heavy, pressing against his chest. He turned to run, but his feet wouldn't move. Then the boy tilted his head and whispered, "We've been waiting for you." The playground erupted with movement. Swings rocked violently. The merry-go-round spun on its own. Shapes flickered in the mist. Dozens of children surrounding him. Ethan finally broke free, stumbling backward. He ran, his legs shaking, not stopping until he reached his front door. That night, he hardly slept. The next morning, Ethan convinced himself it had been his imagination. Tricks of the light, exhaustion, an overactive mind. But as he left for school, he hesitated at his doorstep. There, in the dirt just outside his house. Small, barefoot footprints, leading from the playground.